Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss foreign exchange rate. Foreign exchange rate we will discuss in two parts. Some concept in the part one and some concept in the part two. Let's we start. First of all, the learning objective. After finishing these topics, you will be able to understand the meaning of foreign exchange rate, and also you will be able to understand the system of the exchange rate, and also able to understand the concept of fixed and flexible exchange rate system, and then the depreciation, revaluation, devaluation, etc. So let's we start first of all what we will discuss under this uh, session. First of all, exchange rate meaning, type of exchange rate, the demand and supply of foreign exchange, supply source of demand for foreign exchange, source of supply of foreign exchange, determination of flexible exchange rate, devaluation and depreciation of currency, revaluation and appreciation of currency. This concept we will discuss in this session. First, we start the foreign exchange rate meaning. Foreign exchange rate is the rate at which one currency exchanges with the another country currency. In other words, we can say it can be traded for another country currency. It means if we want to exchange rupees in dollar, so the rate at which we exchange rupees to dollar, that rate is called a foreign exchange rate. Foreign exchange and foreign exchange rate are the different things. Foreign exchange rate is the rate at which one country currency exchange with the another country currencies. But foreign exchange is a reserve of the foreign currency. Like for example, if $1 is equal to 70 rupees, it means to purchase $1 we need a 70 rupees. The $1 is equal to 70 rupees the exchange rate. Or another word we can say the price, the foreign exchange rate is the price of one currency in term of the another. It means the price of one currency in term of the other is a foreign exchange rate. Now, for the same thing is there, $1 is equal to 70 rupees. It means $1 price is equal to 70. Now we'll discuss system of exchange rate. First system is fixed exchange rate system. Under this system, exchange rate of the currency of countries officially declared in terms of gold or any other currency by the government of that country. If two government they mutually decide to exchange bin, maybe in the term of the gold or maybe by any other country currency, that exchange rate system is a fixed exchange rate system. It means in this the exchange rate is fixed by the officially. It is declared by the officially. A typical fixed exchange rate system was the gold standard system of exchange rate. Under this system, value of each currency was fixed or defined in terms of gold, and then exchange rate was determined according to the gold value of the currency. Like for example, first they see that how much uh, gold they can purchase from the rupees, and then how much gold they can purchase from the dollar. So if they decide the quantity on the basis of that, and then they decide the currency. Like for examples, if 1 rupees we can purchase 25 gram gold, and then $1 we can purchase 125 gram gold. So the $1 is equal to 5 rupees. It means in this way the exchange rate is determined. $1 is equal to 5 rupees because we can purchase 25 gram gold from the 1 rupees and 125 gram gold from the $1. So $1 we can purchase more gold, so we need a more rupees to purchase the dollar. So this is the 5 times, so $1 is equal to 5 rupees. The second system of exchange rate is the flexible exchange rate system. uh, Under this system, the exchange rate is determined by the forces of demand and supply of foreign exchange rate. It means it is not fixed, it is flexible. It means it is decided by the market forces, not by the authority. Okay, the demand and supply forces. If demand and supply both are intersect in at any point where the exchange rate is determined. The demand and supply of foreign exchange rate. The demand of foreign exchange has inverse relation with the flexible exchange rate. If flexible exchange rate rise, the demand of foreign exchange falls. If it is decrease, then the foreign exchange rate increase. So it means it is inverse relation between the uh, foreign exchange rate and the price. Sorry, demand of the foreign exchange. So that's why the demand curve is slope downward, because it shows the inverse relation between the exchange rate and the demand. Then the supply of foreign exchange have positive relation with the foreign exchange rate. If foreign exchange rate rise, the supply of foreign exchange rate also rise, and if it is decrease, then it also decrease. It means show a positive relation. So the supply curve is a slope upward, a positive slope on the upward slope. Now, the sources of demand for foreign exchange. Why we demand uh, of the foreign exchange? Yeah, we need foreign exchange for the purpose of why, where we need. Like the same way as we need money for the purchasing or maybe the goods from the country. For making import payment, we need a foreign exchange. That already I told you, the foreign exchange is a currency or a reserve of the foreign currency. So making foreign import payment, we need a foreign exchange, because import payment we cannot made in rupees. We need a dollar or maybe the any other country currencies. Between foreign exchange, we require to make payment for the import. For investment in the rest of the world, if any Indian citizen want to invest in the another country, then he need a some foreign exchange because he can invest in the dollar or maybe any other international currency, not in the rupees. So he need a foreign exchange. The payment of the international loan, if we have taken loan and then we want to repay that loan, or maybe we want to give loan to another country, then we need a foreign exchange. Gift and grant to rest of the world, then we can need a foreign exchange. In Indian rupees, we will not provide gift to the another country. We will provide in an international or maybe the foreign exchange. Purchasing goods and services from the foreign country. If you want to purchase any goods and services from the another country, then you need a foreign exchange, because at international level, the international currency they accept, not the rupees. For speculation in foreign currencies, if you want to speculate in the foreign currencies to earn profit, then you need a foreign exchange. Now, the questions arise: sources of supply of foreign exchange. We need a foreign exchange for the different purpose. From where we receive a foreign exchange? We get the foreign currencies from by export payment from the rest of the world. We export goods to the another country. If they pay for export payment, then they will pay in the foreign exchange. It means they will pay in the dollar or maybe any other international currencies. For investment by the foreign home country, if they want to invest in the country, then they will invest in the foreign exchange, not in the rupees. So in this way, we receive foreign exchange from the another country. By recovery of international loan, if we the another country repay the loan, or maybe we recover loan from the another country, we will take loan from the another country, then we will take from the in the foreign exchange. By getting gift and grant from the rest of the world, if any country provide gift to the another our country or maybe our citizens, or maybe they provide grant to us, then we need a foreign exchange. From purchasing goods and services by the foreigners in the domestic country, if the foreigners purchase goods and services in our country, then they will purchase in the dollar. First they will exchange the currency and then they will purchase. So in this way, they will purchase in the foreign exchange. And speculation by the non-residents in the domestic currency. If they want to speculate in our country, then they need a they supply the foreign exchange, because they speculate in our currency. They will purchase our currency and then speculate. So they will purchase in the foreign exchange. So in this way, they supply the foreign exchange. Now the question determination of equilibrium exchange rate. How the exchange rate is determined. So already we have discussed the sources of the demand and then the supply from where we get the foreign exchange. So if both are equal at any point, if they are intersect the demand and supply of the foreign exchange rate, at that point the exchange rate is determined. Under flexible exchange rate system, exchange rate is determined by the forces of demand and supply of foreign exchange. It means like the supply curve is a positive slope and the demand is a downward slope. If both are intersect at point E, so in that point our 50 rupees and then the currency, the quantity of this foreign exchange. So OXX represent the quantity of foreign exchange and then OY represent the exchange rate. So at that point The exchange rate determined where the demand and supply are equal. DD is the demand for foreign exchange, SS is the supply of foreign exchange, and equilibrium exchange rate is the R1. So in this way, the exchange rate is determined. So explanation also required in the exam of the diagram. So in the diagram, DD is the downward sloping demand curve, which show inverse relation between demand of foreign exchange and exchange rate. SS is the upward sloping curve, which show direct relation between supply of foreign exchange and exchange rate. Graphically, intersection of the demand curve and supply curve determine the equilibrium foreign exchange rate. It means in that point where demand and supply are intersect, or that point the exchange rate is determined. So when they ask the exam, then we will prepare a diagram and then we will also explain the diagram in the same way. Now, the next concept is the devaluation and depreciation of a currency. Depreciation of currency and devaluation of currency, I'd say most important concept in this topic. First of all, we will discuss depreciation of currency. Depreciation means decrease in the value of domestic currency compared to the foreign currency. Depreciation of domestic currency we are talking about here. Sometimes simply the depreciation is given. So the decrease in the value of domestic currency in compared to the foreign currencies by market forces, not by the government. It is by the market forces. It is case of a flexible exchange rate system only, because by the market forces sometimes the value of domestic currency decrease. So that is called a depreciation of the currency in compared to the another country currency. Like for examples, if exchange rate from $1 is equal to 50 rupees, first we are paying 50 rupees to purchase $1. Now the depreciation arise in the country of the currencies. It means now we have to pay $1 is equal to 60 rupees. Now to purchase $1 we need a 60 rupees. So that is called a depreciation of a rupees. Okay, because uh, earlier we pay 50 rupees to purchase only $1. Now we are paying 60 rupees. So this show a depreciation of the our currency, depreciation of the domestic currency. The second is the devaluation of a currency. Maybe depreciation and devaluation both are same, but devaluation of currency is not automatic. When government or monetary authority of a country officially lower the external value of its domestic currency in respect of all other foreign currency is called a devaluation of a currency. Devaluation when government intentionally reduce the value of domestic currency compared to the another country currency is called a devaluation of currency. Sometimes government to increase the export or maybe to decrease the import, government devaluate the currencies. Like in 1991, government of India devalued the currencies. So in that time, officially they lower the external value of its domestic currency in respect of the all other foreign currency. That is called a devaluation of a currency. Same example we can take. Earlier we have to pay 50 rupees for $1. Now the government reduced the value of domestic currency. Now we needed 60 rupees to purchase the dollar. So that is called a devaluation. The basic difference between depreciation of currency and devaluation is that depreciation arise by the market forces, but devaluation arise by the government authority or maybe any another monetary authority in the country. So this is devaluation and depreciations. Now the next, the revaluation and appreciation of currency. Appreciation, uh, increase in the value of domestic currency compared to the foreign currency by the market forces. Like as a depreciation, in depreciation the value of country currency decrease, but in appreciation the value of domestic currency increase in compared to the another country currencies by the market forces. This is maybe in the flexible exchange rate system only, because by the market forces appreciation arise. So that is in the flexible exchange rate system. But here the value of domestic currency increase in compared to the another country currencies. That is called a appreciation of the currency. Like for example, if exchange rate change from $1 is equal to 50 rupees. Earlier we have to pay rupees to purchase the dollar. Now appreciation arises of our currency. Now we have pay only the 40 rupees for $1. So that is called a appreciation of the rupees. It means now we pay less rupees to purchase the dollar, and uh, earlier we pay more. So that is called the appreciation of the currency. Now revaluation of currency, like as same as the appreciation, but revaluation arises when the government or monetary authority of a country officially raise the external value of its domestic currency. They officially increase the value of the domestic currency is called a revaluation of the currency in respect of the all other foreign currency is called revaluation. It may be uh, arise in a fixed exchange rate system because any authority can increase their own country currency value, but it's not maybe feasible in the flexible exchange rate. So revaluation of currency is when the government or any monetary authority raise the external value of its domestic currency in compared to the all other country currencies is called a revaluation. The basic difference between the appreciation and revaluation: appreciation arises by the market forces, and revaluation is by the any government authority or monetary authority. So this is appreciation of currency, depreciation of currency, revaluation of currency, and devaluation of a currency. Sometimes they can ask the difference between appreciation and depreciation, revaluation and devaluation. Or another most important is the effect on export and import of the domestic country, like depreciation of currency. When the depreciation arises, so the value of domestic currency decrease in compared to the another country currency. It means uh, for us now we have to pay more rupees to purchase $1. So for import is costly now. So import are likely to fall due to the depreciation of the currency. But now the goods, the Indian goods are cheaper for the foreigners, so they will purchase more. So exports are likely to increase. So due to the depreciation, imports are likely to fall and export are likely to increase, because now we have to pay more rupees for the dollar. So it means the import is costly for us, so we will purchase less in quantity from the another country. So the import falls. The same impact of devaluation of currencies: when government intentionally reduce the value of country currencies, then the import are likely to fall. The main objective of devaluation is to reduce the import and to increase the export. So that's why the government adopt the procedure of devaluation of currencies, because under this the import decrease. So if the import decrease, then we have to pay less foreign exchange to the another country, and then export increase, then the supply of the foreign exchange increase. So export are likely to increase. Appreciation of currencies. Appreciation means when value of the domestic currency increase in compared to the another country currencies. So due to that, now our value increase. If our value increase, then now we are able to purchase more goods from the another country. So our imports increase, and now the export are likely to decrease because our goods are costly for the foreigners now. So they will purchase less quantity. So exports are likely to decrease and imports are likely to increase. The same effect of devaluation of currency. The imports are likely to increase and exports are likely to decrease. So thank you. The next, the market portions, the foreign exchange market, we will discuss in the next slides. Okay.